Hi and welcome back to the channel, and in today's episode let's talk about something a little bit controversial. So yes, you have caught me out and about checking things out, getting ready for the end of the year. Already the rally season has wound up, and a good thing too, the weather has turned very hot very quickly. We are in late November now, and the temperatures are getting up to 40 odd degrees Celsius, probably about 100 degrees plus Fahrenheit, and there are also some pretty nasty bushfires raging around the place. So it's a good thing that all of the rally championship has wound up where we are competing in forests. Now, on this particular episode, we are going to talk about something a little bit controversial. It has been a discussion that has happened over the last couple of years, and particularly this year. There's been a lot of debate around AP4, R5 or Rally 2 cars. Now I'm going to refer to these cars as Rally 2 for the rest of this video, just to make things a little bit easier. And it basically revolves around production drivers and production cars versus Rally 2 cars. And there has been, from some corners, calls to have Rally 2 cars banned from state championship events. Now I'm going to give as impartial a video here as I can. At the end of the day, I want you to decide for yourself whether you think Rally 2 cars should be banned. So I'm going to keep my personal opinions out of this. Let's give some context to the debate. Basically, some are arguing that Rally 2 cars are too expensive, too technologically advanced, and therefore too fast to compete on a level playing field with production cars, which make up the bulk of state fields. So to give this some perspective, we need to go back and delve into the history, and we need to look at the World Rally Championship in the 1980s, when Group B was banned and Group A became the new premier category. Group A was a production formula, which meant that manufacturers had to produce cars in their thousands, so road cars, and then they could take them rallying. It spawned a whole bunch of awesome homologation specials, which we know today as legendary cars such as the Lancia Delta, the Subaru Impreza WRX, Subaru Legacy RS, Mitsubishi Lancer Evo, Mitsubishi Galant VR4, Ford Sierra Cosworth, Escort Cosworth, etc., etc. It was a fantastic time for rally fans and privateer competitors, because effectively you could walk onto the showroom floor and buy a car that was based on and contained many of the parts of the factory teams. And whilst privateers could run Group A cars or buy ex-works cars, really Group N or the showroom class was really aimed at privateers. So you literally bought the car off the showroom floor and with very little modification, it was tightly controlled, took the car rallying. Clear as mud so far? Okay, let's move on. In 1997, the FIA brought in a new category called World Rally Cars. It was the replacement for Group A, and it was largely because manufacturers were saying they just could not afford to spend the hundreds of millions of dollars required to produce a competitive rally car from a production car. The new formula meant that the cars could be produced in limited numbers, they were very specialised, could have very specialised parts in them, and it allowed manufacturers to develop them on a much smaller budget. The World Rally Car formula did work because it enticed a whole bunch of other manufacturers into the World Rally Championship. However, the flip side of that was that manufacturers no longer had to produce a production car and four-wheel drive turbo to take rallying, and so therefore homologation specials started to drop from the manufacturers' lineups, and pretty soon the supply of Group N cars was running dry. And this, ladies and gents, is where the R formula comes in. Under this formula, Rally 1 is basically World Rally cars, which are produced by the manufacturers and are driven by works drivers. And Rally 2, where we're concentrating in this video, is basically the equivalent of the old Group N. It's aimed at privateers. Now, I don't want to get too deep into the tech specs of Rally 2 cars. However, there is a couple of things to note. One, they are produced by manufacturers. Two, they are based loosely on a production car. It can be turned into a turbocharged four-wheel drive vehicle if it isn't already. And three, they are a purpose-built and engineered rally car. So whilst they do have some compromises, they don't have as many compromises as a road-going production car. The FIA has also set a cost cap on Rally 2 cars. Remember those last 2 points. Okay, still with me? Let's keep moving on. Let's talk about the force side of the debate. So those who want to have Rally 2 cars banned. First up is the expense. To get a Rally 2 car into Australia and start competing with it is probably going to cost around $400,000 to $500,000. It's fair to say that's above the average state competitor's budget. The other point of the debate is how advanced the cars are. As they are an engineered rally car, a lot of things are optimised in them. Theoretically, straight out of the box, the car should be ready to go and require very little development because the factory has done it already, meaning they are very quick and easier to drive than production cars. The last major point is the number of Rally 2 cars in the state championship, with 4 or 5 regularly turning up at events and placing on the podium. If we look at the 2023 state rally season, 2/3 of the events have been won by a Rally 2 car. Now let's look at the against side of the debate. If we look at some figures from around the mid-2000s for a PWRC Group N car, they were somewhere between $200,000 and $220,000 to $230,000. Adjusted for inflation, that's around $350,000 in today's money. It's not quite the cost of a brand new Rally 2 car out of Europe, however, it's probably well above the budget of the average state competitor. In terms of advancements, time and technology stand still for nobody, and whilst the production car body shells may not have changed, the rules have certainly evolved quite considerably in a time frame, and these days there's a lot more freedoms with production cars than there ever were before. Things like being able to fit sequential gearboxes, different suspension, tubular subframes, active centre differentials, freedoms of turbochargers, and of course the huge advancements in programmable engine management. That aside, production engines are actually larger than those in Rally 2 cars. So for example, a Subaru or a Mitsubishi is running a 2-litre engine, whereas our Rally 2s are limited to a 1.6. So therefore there's almost half a litre of extra capacity, and that does translate into pretty good torque. Then there's the gear ratios. Rally 2 cars have a theoretical top speed of around 180 k's an hour, and that's to do with the gearing. No such limit applies on production cars, so they can exceed 200 k's an hour. If we circle back to the 2023 results, yes, 4 wins were taken by Rally 2 cars, however the other 2 were taken by production cars in convincing fashion. There's some other points to consider too. If we ban Rally 2 cars, what happens to people who are running at national championship level and then want to upgrade and on-sell their cars to state championship competitors? And speaking of that, the 2023 championship has been won by a third-hand Rally 2 car. What about the slowly decreasing pool of production cars that can be turned into rally cars? Many manufacturers don't produce a 4-wheel drive turbo car anymore. And what about those state championship competitors that already own a Rally 2 car that may be aspiring to national or even international competition? So what does this all mean? Is this just an anomaly in the evolution of rallying? Is the gap between production and rally formula cars going to widen? Or is the playing field still level and it comes down to those building and competing in the cars? Righto, so that's the Rally 2 debate in a large nutshell. Should we ban Rally 2 cars? Should we keep them? Should we do something else? Go nuts in the comments and let us know your thoughts. Thanks very much for watching. Please like, it is important to the YouTube algorithm, and subscribe. And I'm going to get on and see what I can get done before this thunderstorm comes in. I'll catch you again soon. Cheers.